Yeah, that just seems to be blowing out room temp air.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yours is on that side?
No, because they still have to connect something as well.
Oh.
Then that was
Ew. So in 30 seconds, you can start the pot.
Okay. So I am testing sound. Let me know if this is good.
Hey, Zearier, can you say some things for me?
Hi, testing.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
All right. 1 sec.
Blue right there at the side, more blue. We good? Okay, can I start? Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the NAGB Virtual Summer Programme. So today, this is a continuation of the exercise we started the day before yesterday. We started with our paper mache. So if you missed that lesson, feel free to go to our YouTube page and watch that lesson first. And then you can always come back and watch this one because this one will be up as well. So if you're a little behind, that's fine. We'll all get there. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna continue the exercise of recreating our little flower pots. And they're just decorative flower pots because they're made of paper mache. We can't actually plant plants in them and water them and keep them alive. And we wanna keep all of our plants alive. So this is a decorative flower pot. So the first thing we're gonna do is take our pots and cup them. So we use some materials. We use old cans. We use old cups. We use good cups that we protected with foil. And then we use some old containers that we had just to create the shape. And again, you can use anything that you have available to you as long as you protect it with the oil or the grease, it should be fine. The first thing we're gonna do is take the paper mache cups out of the cup. So this one is fine, it's gonna have to wash now. But this one is decupped pretty easily. And I'm also gonna try and spin. So some of them might be a little difficult. So if you're like me, we're overzealous, used a lot of the paste. So what you're gonna have to do is go around the bottom and move that paste from the bottom and break it up a bit. It's good if you have a cup that you don't care if it gets damaged, because then you can just press the cup in without damaging the paper mache, okay? So we're gonna just press that in a bit. And once we feel that we've loosened up all of our sides, we're going to spin. And once you see it spinning, it means you're good to pull. Do not pull until it spins, because again, we don't wanna rip or damage the cup that we created, the little pots that we created, okay? So I decupped 2 of these, and my assistant here, I should have introduced her. It's one of our volunteers, Evian. She also decupped hers. And so here's what these 3 look like. Do you want to show them yours? Here's what these 3 look like, okay? And remember I told you on Tuesday not to worry so much about the imperfections because we can fix that. Well, we're gonna need our handy dandy scissors, and we're gonna just clip away some of those imperfections to make it a bit smoother, okay? So I'm just gonna go around and I'm gonna clip some of that off, okay? Be very careful you don't cut something that is holding something together. So just to go around the edges and clip that off a bit. And then around here, it's very jagged and very uneven for me, and I don't like that. I want that to be a little straighter. So I'm also gonna go around the top of my pot and I'm gonna make it a bit straighter. And feel free to do a little design here. You can actually clip it up and down. You can make some jagged edges. If you like the little imperfections, that's really cool. And it's a good look. So go ahead and make that a bit even. Okay, so now we have my slightly more even pot. And so we're gonna do that until we're happy with our products. Okay, so I'm happy with that one. I'm gonna go and do ahead and do this one. So I'm just gonna clip around the edges again, all of those little imperfections. It's gonna get a little messy. Sometimes the paste that we use is gonna flake off a bit, and that's okay. Don't worry too much about that. I'm just making my edges a bit straighter. Okay, so now I have 2 pots. Well, we have 3 pots here. And we're gonna do these different colors. So there are a couple of ways you can go ahead decorating. There's a couple ways you can go ahead decorating these pots. The first way is to paint, right? And I'm gonna paint one so you can see. The second way is if some of you use straight color, like a scrap paper or scrap construction paper from all activities to do your paper maches, and they're one color, you can go ahead and use markers. So I have some markers here to show you that to design. You can also take some of that scrap construction paper from when you cut out activities earlier this week or last week, and you can do little cutouts to design your paper mache. So we're gonna start by painting. That takes longer to dry. And so I'm gonna get one of my bigger brushes, something with a bigger handle here. Because it's so wide, I'm gonna use a bigger brush so that it'll sort of paint faster. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint this one white. And then you'll see why. And I'm gonna paint, the reason I'm choosing white here is because white is a great base color. And I can design it with markers or colored pencils. You have a little noise disruption here. I hope you guys can hear me. You can go ahead and design with markers or coloring pencils or your crayons, and you can color on them, whatever you want, right? So white is a really good base color. So I'm gonna go ahead and just coat the outside of this one white. You're gonna get a little messy, but of course that's okay. Just like last class, it's good to lay out newspaper. So we're working on our art table, which is okay, messy. So I hope you don't messy up the house. You can put down some more newspaper. Try not to get it on my hand as much as possible. Keep going around until I've covered it. I'm not gonna paint the bottom right now because it's gonna rest on the bottom, but it's okay if you want to. You're free to turn it upside down and paint the bottom, that works. And I'm gonna try and get paint into all of my little crevices. Snafu. Okay, and so I'm gonna turn mine face up so that it can dry a bit, so we can work with it. And then I'm gonna take my cup of water and my paint, and I'm gonna clean that brush a little. Okay, that's gonna be there. So I have this one, and this one I can just paint however I like, right? So this one, I'm gonna use a lot of bright colors because this one is gonna be my decorative painter. So I wanna use bright colors, I wanna add flowers. I think the newspaper adds a bit to it, to the character. So I'm just gonna put some nice designs on this one. And so I'm gonna start with red. So I'm gonna create a little flower, a little rosebud, okay? Just a little bit of up and down in that circular motion to create that petal look. And then I'm gonna clean that so that I can go ahead and add my yellow center. So when you clean your brushes, you also don't want to include too much water. We have our napkins, and we're gonna just press it down a bit to get some of the water out. I'm gonna come back with the yellow and put a little yellow in the middle of my flower, daisy. These flowers are changing all about. We can create our own flowers, it's fine. Creativity is key. And then I want to do a green stem. But as you can see, I have primary colors, black and white on my palette. So in order to create my stem, I don't know if you remember from color mixing, which make green, we're gonna mix our yellow and our blue. And that's gonna give us green for our stem. And we're mixing that in the middle of our palette so that it doesn't clash with anything else. You're also free to mix in one of the empty holes, that's fine. But we're mixing so that we can get green for our stem. Okay, guys, so we're just having a little bit of technical difficulties. We're gonna mute for a second and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Good. Okay, guys, for a bit because my cut around it or just paint over it. And the paint actually type adhesive and it'll that together. You can also go back to the drawing board, get a piece of to be here for you to come back. I was using points to my round stems of my plant. So I'm gonna just draw a straight line from top to bottom. And I'm gonna do my little tip so that it does that. I need to mix my green a little, showing how green with yellow on the bottom. So just a little bit more mixing here. So I'm gonna do a couple of stems here, a couple of stems. And it's okay to pile the paint on a little thick to make sure it looks like what you want it to look like. Okay, we're gonna do one more stem for good measure. Okay. Dropping that back in the water. Okay, guys, just give it a minute, okay? So we can switch internet sources one more time. You good? Okay, guys, so we're still painting, and I went ahead and got my stems drawn onto my cup, and now I want to just make some flowers on that. So you can go ahead and draw flowers in however you want. You can also wait for the white to fully dry and just draw onto it however you see fit to create your nice flowers. So I did 2 red, and I'm going to mix some of my red with a little bit of my white. Hopefully we know that that made pink, and we're going to make some of our flowers pink as well because it's a very lovely color. And it's very abstract at this point, very not very true to life, but that's fine as well, just to create some interest in our pieces. Okay, so we have some nice flowers on this side. We can also draw what flowers need to survive, and who remembers what flowers need to survive. Like all living creatures, they need nourishment, which they get from the soil and the sun through the process of photosynthesis. We know what that is. That's how plants make their food. And so that's what they need. And so we're going to draw the sun and above them on the other side, okay? So we're going to take a bit of yellow. And there are a couple of ways to draw your sun. You could draw a circle. I want to fill mine in, so I'm going to draw a really wide circle, but I'm going to draw it filled in because I like mine filled in. And I also like to draw the rays. So I'm going to do my flat brush. I can do my flat brush. Some of the sun's rays coming off of it because it's very hot. Couple of rays there, couple of rays all around. We have a very wide sun and all of the rays coming off of it. So we have our sun and we have our plants And we have our decorative potted plant for this one. And you can put a lot of different things in this. I'd be interested in you all sharing what you did with yours. Maybe you want to keep some things on your bureau. Maybe you want to store, you want to use it as a start for your compost pile. That's also an option. But we're going to go back to this one here. And I sort of changed my mind about this one over here. And it's okay to change your mind. And so I want to do this one multicolored, sort of the way Abby and over here is doing her yours. And can you show everyone yours? And so she just picked her favorite colors and she went around all together. She just picked her favorite one and went around, and you're still free to put cutouts on top of that and create that. And so because we're using newspaper, you can see that as I paint, it streaks a bit. And so you can still sort of see what's underneath it, and that's okay. I mean, you're just gonna have to go over it more than one, okay? Go over it more than once with your stick paint. And so there we go with that one. That's yellow. Let's do a little blue. We haven't used blue yet. So blue can come right in there. And I'm smoothing this one down with my flat brush. It's very handy for that. And again, we have some noise going on here. Just please let me know if you have trouble hearing me. So my blue goes on pretty thick, and I'm gonna keep the blue on my brush and mix it in with a little red so that we can have purple. I'm gonna do the purple here. Very reddish purple here. Okay, and then I'm gonna come back around to the last section. Because we haven't used it as yet, and it's one of my favorite colors to have, I'm gonna do a little black. It's a very versatile color to have in your arsenal of paint. So I'm just happy to be here with you all, creating your work, designing your little potted plants however you see fit. So we also have this multicolored gem along with our piece from earlier, our flowers and sun. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you, just in case you guys want to try it, is how to do cutouts for your pieces. And so we're gonna do scrap paper. These are some of the scrap construction paper that we had from other exercises. There was also an exercise where you guys looked at drawing cool techniques and little doodling. You're free to cut any of these out to paste onto your pots, okay? So I'm just gonna come here with the green maybe. And depending on the color, you know, you can use it to create anything. So I'm gonna use the green and I'm gonna draw myself some leaves. Oh, wrong color. You want black? I'm gonna draw myself some leaves. Okay, and once I've drawn my leaf, I'm gonna cut it out. And remember to consider the size of your plant, especially if you did one color straight around or you did multicolors and you want to draw cutouts in order to think so you get your colored paper, you draw your item on it, and then you just cut it out. And this is a good way to get the full use of materials that you've used early in the week or last week or whenever you watch those videos that required the coloring pencil, coloring paper. Because you know, again, our videos are available on our YouTube page. They all are, the entire program, all the classes. So feel free to come back and watch them at your leisure. Okay, so I have my cutouts. And what I'm gonna do, because I thought I had glue, is just stick it to the wet paint. So on the yellow part, gonna smooth that down there like that. Okay. If you have any questions, just let me know, guys. I hope you have fun painting and drawing and creating on your pot. Take the time to share your work with us, please. You can email us at zmunroe@nagbv.org.bs, or you can share with us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter to any of our accounts. On Facebook, we are the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas. On Twitter, you'll find us at NAG Bahamas. And on Instagram, you'll find us at NAGB242. Please share your work. We are happy to hear from you. Thank you. Take care. Bye.